This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Okay, we were all recording remotely because I had the vid. I am vid free this week. I tested negative several times before we got together. So putting everybody's minds at ease. We are back together. I am healthy, thank God. I rejoined the world of the living today.
Yes.
I was telling Cassie that getting up and doing my hair and putting on real clothes and doing my makeup, I was just like, oh my God, I see her in there. She's in there.
There she is.
She's doing it.
You know what happened? You know, when you're just at home, we all experienced that. I feel like during lockdown where it was just I'm rotating between just yoga pants, pajama pants, and sweatpants. And literally whole days, I put my hair in 2 French braids and I was just I'm going to rock with that until those literally fall apart. I was looking rough, man.
Listen.
Yeah.
The way I lived in a high bun for multiple days during when I had COVID, I get it, man.
My hairline suffered. Yeah, because it's just tie that shit back.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
I, knock on wood, have not had it.
I hope that stays that way for you.
Want it.
It is not fun.
So
that's wild.
Yeah. No, I can't believe it because Eric's had it once, I think.
Yes.
Once.
I remember.
Yes.
And it was in the house
twice.
with you and you didn't get it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No,
Lucky.
Tested negative.
Got brought into my home. Hit me fast. So
Rude.
Honestly.
Really rude. Okay. Well, I saw this thing on BuzzFeed, screenshotted it because I was like, I'm going to put a pin in that for later.
Yeah.
And then I read the article and I feel like we need to discuss it.
Ooh,
so
I love a deep dive.
And, as an engaged person, we've talked about proposals
Yes.
many times. I feel like you really need to know your partner for a proposal.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Know what they want. Know if they want a big grand gesture, public, private, how you want to do it.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think that if you don't know your person well enough to know that, then maybe you're not ready to get married to that person.
Yeah. So this person...
Oh,
Sorry.
No. Oh no.
The dramatic pause.
I will read. This woman is this is the headline on BuzzFeed.
Okay.
This woman is traumatized after her boyfriend's friends kidnapped her for his proposal.
I heard about this.
Did you hear about this?
I did.
This is
fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck you in the strongest possible terms. So I read the article. I won't read it all to you.
Do you know how fucking insensitive and awful that is?
Fuck you.
Yes.
That is somebody that you cannot marry.
I can't trust
if they
you.
Can't,
That's not a fun prank. That's
not
nothing
fun.
cool about that.
No, because it's that whole thing of women fear being attacked.
Yes.
on
all
the
the time.
daily.
All the time.
Are you in a weird dark parking garage?
Yep.
Are you walking your dog at night? All of these things, you're preying on that fear.
Yeah.
Then that tells me you are not an empathetic person, that you are not emotionally mature.
That's right.
I hate this
No,
person
it's
already.
horrible. So this woman got on Reddit and she said, a week ago, my boyfriend told me he had a camping trip planned with his friends on Friday. He said he would have no service and he'll see me on Sunday. He messaged me at 5 a.m. this morning and told me that they're hitting the road. Around 8 a.m., I went for a run like I usually do on Fridays. I had one headphone in because she's a woman.
Yes.
And these are the things that you have to do.
Yes.
So she had one headphone in, and while she was running, she said, I noticed an SUV that kept popping up. And I sent a message to my sister saying to stand by and shared my location. So that's how she's scared.
Yeah.
And as somebody who goes on daily walks, daily runs, that is an actual fear.
Yeah.
I've actually thought about that recently because I'm like, wow, when I go on walks or runs, I always take the same path. And I'm like, no, I need to mix up the way that I'm walking and running.
Absolutely.
Because if anybody's watching my movements, this is the kind of shit we have to think about.
Well, and if anybody's house that you're passing by is like, oh, I know she passes by here.
Right, exactly.
And honestly, share my location is something that I think many women do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she shares her location with her sister. Right after sending the message, I looked up and the SUV was right beside me and someone jumped out and grabbed me. It happened so fast, I even dropped my phone on the pavement. I was pulled into this car and I could tell there were at least 2 masked guys in the back before they covered my eyes.
Oh no.
Then she goes on to say that there was a driver, there were 2 guys in masks in the back who she's blindfolded. They're holding her legs down and her arms down. Oh. They're laughing. They're saying like, oh, they're going to do all of this stuff.
Fuck there is you. No right? way Fuck any you. Of the men in our group would be down for something like that.
It wouldn't even get suggested. It wouldn't even be suggested. So,
but if we had one psycho friend that did suggest it, it would be shot down immediately.
Yeah, immediately. So she's terrified. She says at one point she like peed herself. She's so scared.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
Like, of course, like that is... As women, I feel like this is one of our biggest fears because it's realistic. Like it happens.
Right.
Yeah.
It happens.
It does.
Oh my God. So it was poor
woman. Yeah. So she's screaming. She's kicking. She's like very, very scared. She said an unknown amount of time passed. She said that like time warped because she was like,
of course.
Scared. Yeah.
So scared. So when they arrive at a house and they take the mask off and she's on her knees in front of her boyfriend of 2 years. And he's like looking at her all confused. And he says, he later, I think, like went on to say that it wasn't supposed to be like that. Like his childhood best friend was the one driving. And then like the 2 other guys who were in the back seat with her were like new friends, like friends that he'd met at like his workout class or whatever, who wanted to be like in on the joke. And initially it was supposed to be like they were going to pull up beside her, like wearing masks, which already is a no.
Yeah.
But they were immediately supposed to just be like, hand her a like note that explained what was going on, but they decided to like take it further. So she is pressing legal action.
Good for her. Good for her.
She's pressing legal. She went and gave a statement to the police, and she said that the childhood best friend who she's actually friends with like came in and was like sobbing, like came into the police, sobbing. But she was like, and she's like, he's texted me to apologize and stuff, but I've told him and my boyfriend that I need space from them because that was a terrifying experience. And I'm like, yeah, dude, there's no way I could marry you after this.
To your actions. Hi.
Yeah. Like I just, even if it wasn't supposed to go this far, even the fact that like the first thing that jumped into your head was like scaring her to propose to her is the way to go.
Yeah.
Is fucked up. Even if it wasn't supposed to be a kidnapping situation. Like,
I mean, and also you're overthinking it. Like at that point,
God,
if you're going through those theatrics, I promise you that's not what she wants. She's going to have to, so say she did go ahead and get married to this dude. So she's going to have to describe that proposal to her friends who are going to look at her like,
girl, run.
The fuck did you just do?
Her family, which is going to be like, you did what to our daughter?
Yeah.
Her sister, who literally just was on alert and was like,
was probably terrified.
Fuck yeah. I'd be freaking, I would already be in my car.
Right.
Because if you shared your location and then you go radio silent on me immediately after that, I'm terrified.
911.
Yeah.
That is, I literally am like, I'm shaking a little bit. Like I'm so angry for her.
Can you imagine if that happened to me, it would be traumatizing. Like it would be so hard to recover from that happening and then trying to make it this like joyful moment of like being proposed to or like planning a wedding. Like
you scared her so bad that she peed herself.
Yeah.
And now you want to ask to get married? It's so offensive.
And she said that one of the guys in the back that was holding her leg, she's like, he kept like caressing my thighs and stuff, like touching her legs.
Oh no.
Which like,
wow.
Oh no.
I hope that they get full prosecution.
Yeah.
Because that shit. And you know what? Wow. They also need to get full prosecution because like we need to be teaching like hard lessons to men who think that this shit is a joke. Like that this shit is funny. When it is like, we have to live with this every day. I like to be active. I like to go outside on my own often. And I shouldn't have to be terrified.
A piece of your brain needs to be aware of that kind of danger. Always. Always is not fucking fair. Right. And it's like what I was talking about with you guys earlier, that article about that kind of violence and everything spreading on into online spaces and also the metaverse, and people thinking, oh, it's a joke because it's just happening to an avatar. But it's like, you don't know the person behind the avatar and what kind of trauma you're re-triggering by going up to their avatar and like honking their boobs or whatever. And it's just, it's so,
and it's so fucking immature. Like, truly.
And regardless of whether or not like a real person is being harmed, it says something about you that like your first instinct in this virtual world that we've created is to violate another avatar's personal like autonomy. You know what I mean?
So weird.
It's weird. It's weird that that's like where it goes. Yeah. And it is really immature. It's just like, you know, like, are you an 11-year-old boy? Maybe. Maybe in the metaverse.
The thing about this too is like, this is why more men have to stand up and say,
that's exactly right.
Fuck that shit. Because I mean, for perfect example, I went and got a massage the other day because I've been doing yoga, and I was like, I want to, you know, get my body
stretchy.
Get stretchy and shit. So I was walking home, but it was after dark, and it's literally like 2 blocks away from my house where I get my massage. But I was like walking home alone. I had my hood up. I was like, you know, trying to look as inconspicuous as possible. But I crossed the street at the same time as a man, and he was like behind me, like 3 to 4 steps. And I was like, I'm going to pull over. I'm going to let you pass me. And he was like, oh, I totally get it. I completely understand. Yeah. And then he got like, I was following him, you know, for a bit because we're going in the same direction. I just didn't want him behind me.
Right.
And he's like, I get it. And then he was like, I just have salad. And I was like, I know, but I don't know why you have your duffel bag, you know, kind of being like, I don't know you. I don't care that you have salad in your hand.
Don't take it personally that like this is some attack on your character, that we're cautious around you. We don't fucking know you.
I don't know you.
And the bad ones don't have a sign on their head that says like, I'm a rapist. So sorry, I'm going to have to be cautious around all y'all motherfuckers because I don't know who I can trust and
so I trust none of you.
That's always such a pet peeve of mine when guys are like, well, I'm not that way.
I don't care.
Blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, good.
Great.
Good for you. But
I don't commentary on you personally.
Exactly.
It's a commentary on your entire.
If it doesn't apply, it shouldn't hurt you. It shouldn't hurt your feelings. You should understand why we feel this way.
Exactly.
And it doesn't apply to you. So keep it moving. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. And make sure that the people in your life feel safe, that the women in your life feel safe, the women that you know.
And also, stand up to them and maybe don't have your childhood friends fucking kidnap them to do a fucking proposal, you weirdo.
And see, that's the thing. I'm just like, there were 4 men and none of you were like, hey, this might not be a good idea.
That's so troubling. And especially like when she's fighting and obviously distressed in the back, not one of those 4 people was like, hey, this is gone
actually
too far.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Like the childhood best friend who was driving at some point could have been like, you know, I'm pulling over and putting a stop to like she's terrified.
Much. Yeah.
Like obviously she's terrified. We thought this would be funny. It was misguided, obviously. Yeah. And like we're stopping it now.
Right.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. It flames.
I hate it.
Made me so mad.
No, that's
and
the
it's so
worst
sad
proposal.
for her. So sad for her because it is something that like should have been a joyful moment, and now it's called into question like everything about your relationship.
Truly,
and as it should.
Yeah,
truly. Ooh. Wow. Where do we go? I'm heated. I'm heated now, but now we gotta switch gears and go into an FMK. Guys, I have to tell you about a TikTok that I have seen that I'm very excited about. First of all,
so it's not going to make me mad too?
No,
okay,
no.
Good.
This is the opposite. Good. So we have the dark, now we have the light.
Okay.
Because
bring us to the light.
I know we talked about taking the girls and all going to see the new Barbie movie, which I'm here for.
I cannot wait. I think I've said it on the podcast before that I got to see the first 20 minutes. It's so cute. This is not an ad for the Barbie movie, but it looks like so freaking adorable. Good. I'm so excited for it.
Like light and fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but also with like nice girl power undertones.
There are people of the male persuasion who I guess are getting upset because for the Barbie movie posters for Ken's, it says he's just Ken.
Yeah, it's not about Ken. It's about Barbie. It's Barbie's world.
He's just Ken.
He's just living in it.
So this TikTok explains that that's not like a slam on Ken at all. That like what Barbie and Ken have is like Barbie is the star of the show and Ken is a sweet baby angel who just loves and supports her.
Yeah.
No matter what, is an amazing arm candy.
Yes.
And I absolutely love that. I mean, when I was younger, we had tons of Barbies.
Yeah.
I'm old enough that I also had a lot of gems.
Oh, hell yeah, Gem.
I had all the gems.
Yes.
I had the Misfits.
Yep.
And I had her boyfriend. Was his name Rio?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was Rio, I think. Yeah.
I had a Rio. And then I had one Ken. Ken could fit in Gem's clothes, so I had I'm well ahead. So
wow, yeah, nice. Gender non-conforming.
Exactly.
Ken.
Yeah,
I like it.
But yeah, it's all about Barbie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't get multiple Kens. You just have one.
Yeah, you don't need a bunch of Kens. I mean, yeah, there's a line in the movie, I think that's like, Barbie has a perfect day every day. Ken has a perfect day if Barbie pays attention to him.
That's right.
Yes, because it's like, it's her world.
And I love that. And I think that, you know, when we're thinking about like a fuck, marry, kill, we should think about celebrities who give off that Ken vibe that are like loving, supportive.
Maybe you're Kris Jenner, right? Like you're
you're doing a baby
doing
sweet.
great.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you showed us the TikTok.
Yes.
So my favorite one that you showed was the Courtney B. Vance.
with Angela.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's it. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that
They've
energy.
been together a million years, and he still takes out his cell phone
Listen.
to record her whenever she's accepting an award. It's very, very sweet.
Precious.
Yeah. I think, okay, so are we picking Kens? We're picking celebrity
Yes.
Kens
Our-
to
yes.
fuck, marry,
Our
kill?
celebrity
Okay.
Ken.
Yeah, another example that I really liked was Tom Holland with Zendaya.
That's who-
Yes.
Because Tom Holland is a star in
Yes.
his own right.
Yeah.
But he definitely gives Zendaya her space to
Yes.
shine and everything. So I
happy to take the second seat.
correct.
You know,
You know.
I feel like there's a couple that I can think of right now. I'm not going to pick him, so I'll say him first, but Dwyane Wade gives me that energy too
Yes.
with Gabrielle
Yes.
Union.
Yes.
Like, I feel like he's got that energy.
You're right.
And do I want to go with him?
That's a good
I'm
one.
either going to go with him or someone who I think exudes this energy to the point where I've seen him be criticized by men online is A$AP Rocky with Rihanna.
Yeah.
His energy with Rihanna, he's not in competition with Rihanna. Like, he's like, that's my bae. Did you see his jacket that he wore to the Super Bowl? He had a custom jacket made like for her halftime performance that had like, I think it was like her hand holding a football, but it had all of her tattoos on it. So you knew it was her. He had like a custom jacket made for her performance. Like, I just feel like he gives such supportive
Vibes,
energy to the point where like men online are triggered by it, or they're just like, he's a cuck, he's a fucking like all these things. They say things about him online because he's supportive of his lady.
Yeah,
Dude.
but he gets to go home night and sleep with
Right.
Rihanna.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So you
He's
can
not
say whatever
complaining.
the fuck you want.
He's not complaining.
You understand the female gaze. You
Yeah.
understand the
Crying
assignment.
into those
Yeah.
satin sheets, bitch.
Yeah. But you know what? I actually think, even though I stand by that, like A$AP Rocky gives real Ken energy, I'm actually going to go with Dwyane Wade on this one.
That's a solid. He's that way not just for his wife,
for his kids.
He's that way with his
Yeah.
kids.
They're leaving
love-
Florida. Like,
Yeah.
because, you know, he played, I think, for the Miami Heat, and they're leaving Florida because he's like, my family's not safe here.
No,
Yeah.
get
You know,
him.
because he has a trans daughter. And
Love it.
And good
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for them. I love
Oh,
both. They're just great.
amazing.
Great.
Oh my God. She is goals. Gabrielle Union.
absolutely.
Ugh.
Absolutely. Gosh, this is tough.
I think the one that's coming to my head is Oscar Isaac. And especially when he's around
He gives Ken-ergy not to his wife.
Wow. Wow.
He gives Ken. He's the Ken to Jessica Chastain's Barbie.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we know it.
Yes.
We see it. It's
That's why I'm
happening.
like, is that Ken-ergy or is he?
He's giving Ken-ergy to somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, because he looks at her like he adores her.
That is
Adoration.
a Ken look.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with David Beckham.
Oh.
And I know this feels like a wild card because
I
he's
get
a
it.
big celebrity, but he has such energy around Victoria. Like he literally
He adores her.
Yeah. And he has like the heart eyes. Like, you know what I mean? Like he sits in the front row of her fashion show. I mean, and he's like this big, huge soccer player. It just doesn't seem to fit the, the standard male gaze of what a guy would do. And
Yeah.
he's happy to be there clapping and supporting his wife.
Opposite of Tom
Right.
Brady.
I think yes. He's the anti-Ken.
Yeah.
I feel like
Neck.
people assume that like when we say this, we mean that like they're less important or less like
Right.
or less famous or whatever. And like that's not the case at all. Like I think David Beckham is arguably more famous than Victoria Beckham.
I would totally agree with that.
he's-
Yeah.
But it's an energy.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
a vibe.
Yeah.
And he does give that when they are walking together. She's the star of the show.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's happy to take a backseat to her successes.
Oh, it's also like Bradley Cooper with Lady Gaga
Oh,
back in the day.
wow.
When we had that moment. That was a Ken.
That was a
Ken moment.
real Ken moment.
We were rooting for them so hard.
I-
we really were.
And still am.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what you're talking about. Was.
Yeah.
I'm over here still like, yeah, that could happen.
When they were singing at what was that?
The Oscars.
Oy
We will
vey.
never forget.
Never.
Hashtag never forget the Oscars. Because I was like, are they gonna make out
On the
right
piano.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Steve,
Somebody looked at me like that.
it's on.
It's on.
Oh,
It's happening.
But
On.
when you talked about the Oscar Isaac moment, when
Also, he
Yes.
kissed her shoulder.
talk about innocuous. We talked about this like earlier about
Yes.
things that are like seemingly innocuous but hold a hella heat.
Correct. Because yes,
hand.
I'm watching Sanditon on PBS. It's Masterpiece show. It's Jane Austen's unfinished novel. And of course, we've talked before about the Pride and Prejudice hand thing, but there's a couple of moments in season 3, like, some innocuous hands accidentally touching. And I was like, I was alone because Eric was in Bakersfield. And I was like, am I going to have to get my vibrator?
I mean, I'll say this though. I don't think I have to say a shoulder kiss is hot. That's not
Hot.
innocuous. If somebody kisses your shoulder,
That's
why
true.
there was so much like, you're doing this in public
I gotta
in
be
front
honest.
of your partners.
I got to be honest. We're really close friends. If I kissed you on the shoulder, I think
It
that
would be, I would be like, what's going on? What's up?
you would text all the friends.
one of-
and be
if
like,
one of- sensual
if one of your
plays.
male friends
No.
did that?
If
Ew.
they looked at me like that and kissed my shoulder, I really do. I don't know why. There's something about it being your shoulder that is a
Yes.
sexy part of your body.
Yes, it
And
is.
I'm like, if somebody kissed me on the shoulder and then looked at me the way Oscar Isaac, how? I want to know. I want to be a fly on the wall to know what conversations they had with their partners when they went home. Because
Yeah.
Well, I want to know what Tony said to them after that. I think Tony wouldn't say anything. I think he'd be like, that didn't just happen. He'd be like, no.
but then the internet blew it up.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, so yeah. Sorry to Oscar Isaac's wife that like he's a Ken to.
Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a Ken to his wife
Maybe
too.
too.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why she doesn't.
Maybe
Mind.
he's
bothered.
Yeah,
maybe
because
it's
she's not bothered.
just his natural
Correct. So-
Ken-ergy.
Correct.
His Ken-ergy, if you will.
Yes, his
Ken-ergy.
Ken-ergy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did we just name this episode?
Yes.
That's some real Ken-ergy. Oh
Yeah.
man, I don't
Okay.
know how you guys didn't laugh at my opposite of Ken being neck joke.
I didn't get it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, what is she talking about? I really didn't understand.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I'll be over here. It's
So
fine.
we got Dwyane Wade, David Beckham, and Oscar Isaac.
Wow.
I know what I'm doing actually. Weirdly, very decisive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to marry Dwyane Wade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
just feel like you said, like he stands up for what he believes in. He's
Yep.
not worried about criticism from other people. It really doesn't seem like that. He's like, my family comes first.
Yep.
And I don't give a fuck if anybody has anything to say about it. He adores his fucking wife. They also look like they have so much fun together.
Yeah.
They post like pictures of them on vacation and shit. And I'm like, they are having a blast.
They're living life.
Yeah,
I love
they're
it.
living. She turned 50 recently.
No, how?
Yes.
She's
They look
stunning.
Amazing. Well, she's older.
Happiness.
Yeah. Happiness and not being problematic.
Not being
She's,
hateful.
Older than him by a few years. But like
You'd never know.
They threw her like a big 50th birthday. It was like really just lovely. So I'm going to marry him.
He's a
He
great
just seems
father,
great.
too.
Yeah.
He's good.
Just
good
seems
people.
great. I'm going to fuck Oscar Isaac.
Oh, amen.
I'm going to fuck him because I like the shoulder kisses seem nice.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Yes.
a tough one. Shit.
Because that man is fine. That man is
Yeah.
fine even when he's not fine. Like I was watching Ex Machina for the first time like a few months ago.
Oh, yeah. He
And
was
like
in
he's
that.
like kind of a piece of shit in that. Not even
Yeah.
kind of. He is a
He
piece
is.
of shit in
Yeah.
that movie. And I'm still like, but he's fine though.
What was that movie he was in where he was playing that guitar player? Or whatever?
Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh, the Llewyn Davis.
Yes.
Oh,
And he's hot in Star Wars. That man is fine. Okay. So bangity bang.
Yes.
Yes. And David Beckham, hot.
Yeah.
Definitely think he's hot. I can't
Friend.
unsee all of the videos he did for the World Cup in Qatar. He was like the person promoting like and they showed all the videos and it is very cringy, but not his fault. He's not an actor. He is a soccer player.
That's true.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane. But very hot, seems very devoted. Nothing against him. Also, I'm just not as much of a sports person. Although I did marry Dwyane Wade.
Yeah. Who is a sports person?
Yeah. I know what I'm going to do too. I don't think I can marry Oscar Isaac because I need my Ken-ergy to be directed just at
Yes,
me.
it's true. Yeah.
Although appreciate a king giving that energy to other women. Really do. That's amazing. It's so cool that he is like
You can support another woman without putting your lips
kissing-
on her.
I know. So however, I am gonna fuck Oscar Isaac. And I actually think like I would really enjoy dominating Oscar Isaac.
Oh.
Shit.
And I'm usually
You could. I
like,
think he's kind of a short king. I think you could.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think I would throw him around a little bit.
Yeah.
So then that would be a lot of fun. And then I think of the two, I just think that Dwyane Wade is more into politics and standing up for what's right in the way that I am. And I think that aligns more. So I think I'm going to marry Dwyane Wade.
Yeah.
And although, no, I'm sticking with it. I think it's good.
I've not heard really anything bad about David Beckham.
Oh, no.
He seems like a nice guy, upstanding guy.
I don't think this is negating him at all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm also going to marry Dwyane. Yeah. I mean, just
He's so hot too.
fucking.
He is hot.
Yeah.
He looked
He's
fine
hot.
at the Met Gala.
And honestly, hotter still because of his personality and who he
Yeah.
is and what he brings to the table as
Yeah.
far as that energy. Incredibly hot. Yeah. I'm definitely going to marry him. I agree. I think that politically, I want to be with somebody who makes those kind of stands, makes those kind of points.
Stands up for his family.
Yeah, isn't afraid to say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. To be fair, I think all three of us are actually, I think you said this, we all have serious kins in our life, which is rad. And to be fair, I think we all have guys that are exactly like that in the way that they all politically would stand up, make that point and, you know, say those things. So it makes sense. It's that we're staying in tone with that kind of Ken doll. I am going to fuck David Beckham though. This is where we're
I feel like that's right for you.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. We know because we know that I have a
Oscar
very
Isaac
strong...
is a little bit more like sensitive.
Yeah, he's a Pisces.
And we
And-
know that I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like it's going to be like a competition in bed in a good way, I think, for you with David Beckham. Like it's going to feel like sports.
Da-na-na, da-na-na.
Yeah. And you know that man can go probably. You know, like
stamina. Yeah.
Soccer players?
Soccer players, stamina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
Not that you need it.
Yeah. You're like,
I know.
You're like, I don't need it. We'll be done in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm actually already came.
amazing. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Yes.
Sounds good.
And we're back. All right. Kick us off with stories, Cass.
Okie dokie. So the story says, was chatting with this guy for a while before we actually managed to meet up. We seemed to have this amazing connection. Thought we were maybe each other's twin flames.
Oh no. The word, I'm so triggered. After listening to that podcast.
Oh, I know. That
The
podcast
phrase,
was wacky.
twin flames. I'm like, no,
No.
run away.
We had a lot of similar interests and we were into the same things. We decided to do something a little different on our first meetup. We went to an immersive art experience, which started with a sound bath.
Okay.
I made
Great.
us some mushroom tea
No.
for the meditation, which was slightly stronger than planned.
Like magic mushroom tea?
No, look, because I went to the Van Gogh one, like the immersive experience. Very cool. Would not want to be on shrooms for it.
No. Have you done a sound bath?
I've never done a sound bath.
Yeah. It's intense.
It is intense.
I think that
I
would
not want to be on shrooms.
No, me either.
All of this is a lot for the senses.
Yes.
All of it.
Yes.
Because like the immersive art experience is very like, if it's the same kind of thing, they project it like, and it's moving.
Yeah.
All of it's moving and it's
Can you
music,
imagine?
and they project it all over the floors and the
Ah!
walls.
No.
And if you are on shrooms,
Oh,
the way that's either going to be the most transformative experience of your life in a positive way or a negative way.
Yeah.
one of the two.
One of the two.
As soon as I had met the guy, I realized I had zero interest in him on a dating level, but thought, let's have a good night. Had our mushroom tea and got through phase 1 of the evening, which was great. He had also brought some mushrooms and
What? Maybe he is your twin flame. You both brought mushrooms.
and he had a bit of an accent, a slight language barrier. I thought I heard him say the mushroom chocolates were 200 milligrams.
Oh, no.
So I popped a whole one. As soon as I took it, he said, wow, the whole thing. And I was like, what? I thought you said it was only 200 milligrams. He said, no, it was 2 grams.
That's
Oh,
2,000.
My
Oh, no.
God.
Oh, no.
The way I'd be making myself throw up.
Oh,
I'd be
yeah.
making myself throw up immediately. I don't want to be that high
No.
at all.
And on mushrooms too.
No.
It's like
No.
you're bye the next 8 hours of your life.
I know, I hate
Smell
that
you
part.
later.
I am getting
Smell you
anxiety thinking about this.
And I was like, oh, no, I have to drive home. Well, it was.
You ain't driving home, sweetie.
Well, I was in it for the long haul. He matched with me and took what I took. And in no time, we were both getting blasted on magic mushrooms.
All right.
Somebody
This is
had to
why-
been like, okay, you took a lot. I'm going to
Exactly.
not-
I'm going to not. You have to have a trip sitter. You can't do this. Like two people. This is why twin flames, two
Don't
people who
work.
are the same should not be
No.
together.
Somebody-
Because somebody has to keep their shit together. Okay. They're both air
They're like,
signs. I
yeah.
know
Let's
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
No, he matched
Please.
her.
The way
They're
that one of those is
both-
not a Pisces.
That's those are air signs right there.
That's true.
Or a Sagittarius who's just like, fuck it. We're down for fun. You're like, oh no.
Very quickly, things became a bit too much for him.
Yeah.
And he couldn't handle, quote, people's energies.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I bet.
We moved around from one location
Maybe he
to
is a
the
Pisces.
next.
Maybe you're right.
I'm like, did someone write this in about Eric?
The vibes are off. I got to go to the other side of the room.
We moved around from location to location, trying to find a place that he could just chill out. After the high settled a bit, the guy could not stop talking. And I learned way more about him than I ever wanted to.
I bet.
Hours later, as soon as I felt okay to drive, I beelined it out of there. Apparently, he had fallen in love with me that night and had never connected with someone like that before on that level.
You're on a
Yeah.
monumental amount of mushrooms. I'm not going
You
to say
saw
it. Never
God.
mind.
That's not even me.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
still there talking to her right now. I tried to let him down gently, but the whole thing was so confusing and traumatic for him. He ended his sponsorship with his employer and left Canada and moved back to his home
my
country in Europe to be
God.
with his mom.
You see,
Take it
listen.
from me. Lesson learned. Don't do mushrooms on a first date.
No.
No, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to be drunk on a first date, to be high on a first date. It's like,
Keep your shit together.
yeah, it's not a good look, and it's also not as safe.
It's not safe.
No, for sure.
No, I mean, like both of them being that fucked up. Like, what if anything happened?
Literally.
Anything.
Any small
Literally
emergency.
anything.
You're done.
Yeah.
Okay, I think my story feels like it has the same energy as the story you were telling at the top, Keegan. So let's
This'll
get
be fun.
into this. I was 17 and fresh out of high school when one of my uncle's construction crew, a good-looking 20-year-old, asked me out. I had met him a few times, and my uncle really thought he was a nice kid, so I was pretty excited to go on this date. Halfway to the restaurant, his pager went off. This was at the dawn of the 90s. So
I see. Yeah, he's not a doctor. Got it.
yeah. And he pulled an abrupt U-turn, explaining that he had to pick something up, but then we'd be on our way.
That's drugs.
Drugs. That is a drug pager. Yeah, he's got to go drop off a couple grams of shrooms to somebody.
Within 10 minutes.
grams of beans.
Oh my God. Within 10 minutes, we're in a parking garage in one of Greater Miami's seediest neighborhoods.
It's cocaine.
And he was telling me to get down in the footwell of the car for my own safety.
The way I'm calling my uncle immediately. Beep, 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 beep. I mean, I guess you don't have a cell phone because it's early
Uncle
90s.
Tim, can you come get me?
Come get me?
Oh no.
You'd think that this would be a good time to ask what the fuck was going on, but I suddenly very much wanted to be home and figured that if getting into the footwell would get me there in one piece, I was getting in the footwell. He threw a jacket over me.
Jesus Christ.
Why are you
into the glove box, and I caught a glimpse of the hand cannon that he put into his lap.
Oh.
Luckily, what turned out to be some sort of drug deal went off without a hitch, and then we went to the restaurant.
Oh, great.
Oh, okay.
I'm very much in the mood to continue this date.
Get me the fuck out of here.
I know. At 17, I would have been terrified.
Truly
Oh my
terrified.
God.
Yeah.
This would have been it for me.
Also-
I was so straight edged. Like at 17,
This is me too. This is her uncle's construction crew.
Yeah.
So you're doing this with like the boss's niece in your fucking car?
Correct. Yeah.
Bold.
Despite the pants shittingly frightening start to this date, my stupid 17-year-old self, while unimpressed, figured that it couldn't actually get worse. But it did.
Hit me.
I honestly thought he was buying weed, which for me was no big deal, even though the whole thing felt like
You
something
live in
out of a
Miami.
bad after-school special.
You live in Miami.
We end up at the condo of a chiropractor friend of his.
Yeah.
The guy
That's
and his
coke for sure.
wife were really nice,
Yeah.
and they had about 4 gorgeous cats running around.
They ask if you want to party.
Yep.
Hey, you guys want to party?
You guys want to party?
We like your.
She's
My wife and I like your
underage.
vibes.
17.
Yeah, it's not
Jesus
good.
Christ.
It's not good.
My date pulled out this bag of opaque little rocks and unprompted assured me, no, it's not crack.
What is it?
I don't remember what he called it,
What's in
but
the
I was
bag?
naive enough to believe him. They were smoking the hell out of it. I tried one time and ended up with one of those instant headaches behind my eyes. It was horrible. It smelled horrendous, and my head was pounding.
Sounds like-
Left them to it. Sounds like crack
Sounds like meth.
or meth.
Meth.
Yeah.
Meth
Don't
is-
worry, it's not crack.
Don't worry.
It's meth. Chill out. I don't know why you're getting so upset.
God.
It's just meth. One of them, I know.
Yeah.
One of them dropped a rock on the similarly colored kitchen tile, and we proceeded to spend 45 minutes searching for it so that none of the cats would eat it.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Nightmare.
Hands and knees, panic all around. I finally found it behind the garbage can, but not before bruising the shit out of my knees on this tile floor as I was in a short skirt.
What a terrible date.
I asked him to take me home after that, and we didn't have much to say on the way home because he was blasting his car stereo and screeching
Yeah.
along to AC/DC.
Oh, he's fucking
my
high.
God.
Love AC/DC, but my headache and eagerness to be home and safe did not. Anyhow, I knew from the whole parking garage part of the date that I wouldn't be seeing him again, but when I told my best friend about the surreal experience, He informed me that, that actually was crack. And they had straight up lied to my face. I was mortified. Worst date ever.
Wow. Woo.
Taking on a drug deal.
Yeah.
And then
The way-
smoking crack with a chiropractor and his wife.
Maybe I wouldn't. I was about to say the way that I would snitch to my uncle immediately, but I actually probably wouldn't because I would be too worried about my safety.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would do that.
True. That's true.
Yeah. And be like, you know what? Mind my business. I'm
Yeah.
not trying. That guy has a gun in his car.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let him down. Soup's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do your own thing.
Awful. Okay. I matched online with a drummer from a local band I liked. I'd been to a couple of shows and house parties where he played. I really thought it was fate because he liked me first on the app.
No.
Thought it was fate.
No on drummers.
No.
Well, what is a yes for you, musician-wise, Christina?
I mean,
Because bass players are out.
Yeah.
Drummers
Yeah.
are out.
Drummers are in for me. I
don't mind a drummer, I feel like.
I play drums.
Just a no period.
A no on all of it. Just, no.
She's like, I'm actually squash on all
You're like maybe a
instruments.
nice cellist for the like Philharmonic or something.
Loudest. A woodwind, perhaps.
Got bass, clarinet.
Really like the oboe. So
You like the oboe?
Yeah.
I love the oboe.
I said that so.
Yeah, you really
judgmentally.
did. And I like the oboe too.
I played woodwinds in high school, and if you don't play the oboe well, it is like this most screechy fucking instrument.
Yeah,
It
but
is-
That's the
people
same
that
thing with
can-
clarinet. Like, can sound real fucking screechy too.
Ugh. Okay. I thought it was fate because he liked me first. We walked along the beach to a pub and talked about his hobbies other than the band. He mentioned that he's really into anime and is starting to learn some martial arts. Totally fine. I'm a nerd too in a different way. To prove that he's getting really good with ninjutsu,
No.
he starts doing rolls in the sand.
No.
And he's screeching,
I'm sorry.
"Hi-ya!" as he does the rolls.
I'm sorry, Karate Kid. Could you?
Hi-ya!
Like, thanks, Ralph Macchio. Can you settle the fuck down now? Thanks.
Oh wow.
Yes, multiple rolls. When he gets up, he excitedly asks me what I thought. How'd I do? How'd I do?
Oh my god.
I was honestly so taken aback, I couldn't answer.
Oh my god.
He took this opportunity of my silence to then just lean into my
Speechless.
face and kiss me.
Oh.
He, in his head, this looks
This-
so different. He
yeah.
looks so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she was just stunned,
Yeah.
silent.
Speechless.
This is good time for a first kiss.
I got you. I'll rescue you with this kiss.
Hi-ya! Like, dude, we haven't even reached our first destination yet. They're not even to the date.
No, no.
No.
The date just kept getting worse. When he was driving me home, he kept mentioning that I was too tense and tried to poorly massage my neck while failing to steer straight with his other hand.
Nothing turns me off more than a bad
driver.
massage.
Oh, a bad
God.
massage.
Or I'm just in general, a massage from someone you don't like.
Don't like a shoulder rub from someone you don't like. No, it is bad.
I gotta be honest, I can barely handle one from Chris.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know why.
Why
I
do
don't-
men literally like massage you like they're trying to
Hurt you.
Hurt you.
Yeah, please don't. Like, I will pay a professional.
Honestly,
I don't
I'm
need
happy
you to
pay
do
a
this.
professional.
Like,
I have a really good place that I go to.
Like-
I'm telling you.
Yeah, but every single dude that I've been with has always like just massaged like way too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know
Yeah.
I got some knots back there, but this is not how you work them out.
And it
You are
doesn't
not a
feel
trained
good.
professional.
no,
sir.
in fact, you're going to do more damage than good back there. You really are. You're going to knock something out.
I'm like,
Like
you know,
slip disc because you're dumbass.
I finally told Eric, I'm like, I just don't like getting massages that much. I was like, if you pet me like you pet a cat,
Yeah.
that
Gentle.
feels good.
Yeah.
Gentle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, right on my back.
Baby's tender.
Just like the little meow meow on the back.
Yeah. I do need to go get an actual massage though. Like,
I love
Yeah.
this place that I go to.
okay,
I'll tell you,
give me
it's real close.
give me the info. Yeah, I don't need I need a professional. Okay.
Yeah.
Hit
Need
you
a
up on the
professional to
seats.
get back there.
Yeah.
You're so tense.
Oh, that feel good? No. At drop off, we're on a theme. At drop off, he jokingly locked the passenger door as I was grabbing the door handle.
Oh, we hate
It's not funny. What's going on? Men,
Kidnapping is not a joke.
Kidnapping,
Not funny.
pretending to lock the door when I'm trying to get out of your car is not a joke. Like, it's not funny. Stop it.
Yeah, no, I almost shared a story today about a guy that went on a date with a chick, and it was going okay enough that she agreed to go back to his place for a drink. And they get into his place, and he had a woman in the bed, like, waiting for them. He didn't mention it, nothing. So I was like, first of all, so then that woman was just hanging out there for what, 2 hours at least? Like,
What's
just
going
waiting there?
on? Like,
But-
what is happening? Like,
Oh my God.
look at yourselves. Stop it.
Do better.
Do better. Take a look in the mirror.
Honestly, go watch the Barbie movie.
Oh, God.
Look at Ken and say, what can I do?
Although I feel like Ken gets up to some shit in that movie.
Oh, does he?
I think so.
Oh,
In the
no.
second half of the movie.
Uh-oh.
Because here's what never mind. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I'll tell you guys off mic. I'll
Okay.
tell you.
Okay. But yeah, more Ken-ergy, less
Yes.
fake
Whatever the fuck
kidnappings.
this is. Less fake kidnappings. We can
More
just
Ken-ergy.
reduce the fake kidnappings. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, you guys
well.
want to take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love.
Sounds good. And we're back. And I have our Tainted Love, and you're not going to feel any better about this.
Yeah. What a ride.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Up and down, up and down. Here we go. Here's a downer for you. So I got most of my information from a couple different sources. So the journey to get here is always part of the story for me, right?
Yeah.
Because it started out with I had watched a Forensic Files like I do every night. That's my night sleepy time sounds. And I was like, there was a story on, and I was like, hey, Chris, text me those people's names because I'm going to fall asleep, but it sounds like it's going to be in the wheelhouse, right? So we did. I ended up finding a podcast that had the
you love
about it.
Oh,
And I
that's
was
so
like,
nice.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if this is the one, but I was like, I could see how this would work. So then that journey took me to On the Case with Paula Zahn, and then 2 episodes over from it.
Girl, like, see, I can't do this shit anymore. I really am at a place where, like, the last few times I've started watching something, and then I'm just like, well, I'm just going to start taking notes, and I'm just going to commit to this all the way through because I'm just
Kind of what happened here.
I cannot, because it used to be a thing where I'd be like, I used to listen to like full podcasts, like to cover a story or whatever, and I'm like, I can't.
Listen, for all of our listeners, we love you so much. We are not a true crime podcast. If
Yeah,
you want
per
the
se,
deep
right.
dive,
Yeah.
our beat is just talking about like these things that can happen
Yeah.
in love and relationships and everything like that, and what can we learn from it to apply to our own dating life or relationships.
And I love
stuff.
it.
And
love it. I do love it.
But
I'm just saying the whole journey that
I
Cassie
know.
just went on.
I
I'm
know.
like, this
It
is
was
like
the whole thing.
This is a like hours and hours long.
Listen,
Yes.
dive.
sometimes it's that ADHD brain of mine that's like, oh, follow this path, and then that path turned left, and then I took that street,
Little detour.
and
Yeah.
and then that's how I ended up on this journey. Found myself back on the case with Paula Zahn.
Nice.
Okay.
And the episode from hers was a murder at Echo Lake.
Oh.
And the next one,
Echo Lake, our Echo Lake?
oh no,
Oh, okay.
no, thank goodness.
I was like, wow, close to home.
American Greed, Greed is Deadly Sin, and a New York Times article by Corey Kilgannon. So this, let me just start from the crime, right? It's November 18th, 2006. A call to 911 comes in. It's Carlos Perez-Olivo. Yes.
I don't know. Cassie.
Yes. Sorry, I only heard it 15 times, but I also heard it said 15 different ways. So to be fair,
That's okay.
There
to
you
be
go.
fair, I'm confused for a reason. Anyway, he had said that he and his wife Peggy had been shot. It's 11:15 at night. They had been on their way home from date night. They live just outside of New York City in Westchester County. Really nice area. They had taken the evening. They went to the city to go see a movie, go to dinner, night out. Great. On their way home, Carlos is like, oh, we're almost out of gas. So he decides to take a side street, get off the exit a little bit early, and go to a gas station that he literally always goes to. So he takes this side road, this kind of off the beaten path way. It's not the fastest way to his house, but it is the way to his favorite gas station, et cetera, et cetera.
Look, I have driven out of my way to go to my gas station, right? Because I'm just like, I trust this gas station. I definitely have done that where I'm like, it is the opposite direction of work, but I'm going to swing by there real quick before I go to work.
Got to do it.
Got to do it.
Sometimes.
Gas prices, what they in this economy?
Don't tell me twice.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this is also 2008, so I think like gas prices were probably
or 2006, right?
Or 2006.
So even better than 2008.
Yeah, by 2 years.
Yes.
So he's taking the shortcut, driving down this it's kind of a semi-deserted road. All of a sudden, a car comes up, flying up behind him, lights flashing. The car cuts him off, like goes up around, cuts him off.
Don't like that.
So he pulls over. Guy gets out of his car, swinging a gun, and he jumps in their back seat.
Oh my God.
No.
So Carlos is like, what the fuck is going on? So he sees that the guy has the gun and it's kind of in his eyesight. So he's like, fuck it. I have to fight this guy off. So he swings around, goes to jump into the back seat, takes the gun. They're fighting for the gun. In all of the commotion, the gun goes off 3 different times. One time actually hits him, goes right through his side. There's a gunshot through the roof. There's a gunshot. That third gunshot actually hits his wife. So when he gets shot though, the guy in the back escapes out the back door, and he's able to get out, get back in the front seat, and he's like, are you okay? Like to his wife is not responsive. So he's calling 911. He's like, we just got mugged. I don't know, ambush out of nowhere. He's like, I'm driving to the hospital right now. The 911 operator just pull over. He's like, we'll get the ambulance to you. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I can't. I have to get to the he's like
hospital.
Yeah, he knows where he's at. He's like, I'm just gonna go to the hospital.
Right.
And the 911 caller is like, yeah, but let's not cause an accident on your way.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is Tainted Love, so I'm always like,
I'm suspicious.
I'm suspicious on side eyes. But I will say, if I was in the same situation,
I would do the same thing.
Right, that would be my instinct.
I need to get her to the hospital as soon as possible.
Right, that would be my instinct too. Even if it's the wrong move, I would probably do the same thing because I'd be like, well, I'm in my car right now.
I can control this one thing.
Right. Yeah.
I can control this one. I got to be honest with you. As much as I would love to be like, I'll just pull over and wait.
No.
Right. Because what if anything happened? Like anything could happen in the time you're waiting for the ambulance to arrive. What if they can't find you? You're on a side road.
Back?
What if he comes back?
Oh my God, right.
Like you're in your car. If you know where the hospital is, and again, this is not advice. I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying that's what I would do too.
Instinctively, I agree. I think that instinctively, I could not be the person who was just sat on the side of the road. I would have to be doing something.
Right.
Yeah.
And if my only course of action is just getting you to something quickly, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So at any rate, he does make it to the hospital like 12 minutes later. The camera shows he literally like pretty much crashes into like the pole. He drives right up front. He almost crashes like into the pole in the front of the emergency room.
Sounds about right.
Runs into the emergency room, it's like, my wife, they pull her out of the window because the way he pulled in, they couldn't even get the door open. They were just like, pull him out.
Yeah.
So she immediately goes into like an emergency surgery. She's still alive at this point.
Oh my gosh.
She's been shot in the head though.
Oh my God.
And so they're like, she's still alive and they're doing, everything they can. He fortunately hasn't been shot in a place that like no organs were hit or anything. It was like through his side. It was like a through and through. So it looked pretty bad, but and they did take him, to a pretty critical unit like right away just to take care of it. But his injuries weren't deadly. So at this point, the police are obviously involved now. They're like, what happened? What can you explain what happened? All this stuff. And police are like immediately like, okay, great. We're on it. So a little bit of background kind of to tell you who Carlos is. He's an attorney and he's a defense attorney. And, right away he's like, this also could be, related to my
somebody wanting revenge or something.
I didn't get somebody off. So they ended up, hiring. Could be a hired hit. It could be anything. And so he's like, I want to just be really upfront with you as much and give you as much details as possible that could help this investigation because I want to, get you on the right path. He's like, I know I'm the husband. I know I'm the first person you're going to suspect. So I just want to make sure that you understand
I'm upfront.
that everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to be as upfront and forthright as possible. Right. So police are like, sure, great. Sounds good. He's like, also just, one more thing I want to tell you is that I did have a mistress that I'd had for like 10 years.
Whoa. 10 years is a long time. That's wow. That's akin to having a whole second family.
That's
you know what I mean?
Isn't that common law in some places? Jesus Christ.
Like 2 years is common law. 10 years.
God.
That is fucking like, you guys should be signing up for benefits and shit. Like, that's crazy.
10 years. He has been cheating on his wife for 10 years.
Did she know about it? I feel like that's exhausting.
So Peggy, his wife, did not know about this other woman. And apparently too, like the other woman has literally nothing to do with this. It's very much a red herring, but he wants to make sure that he's being forward with them because he's like, I want you to know all of my dirty laundry.
That's very smart.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so smart. Every time you listen to a Dateline and they're like,
our marriage was so
perfect.
happy.
And you're like, okay.
Where's the shit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where's
weird
the poop
thing
at?
is that like literally, and he hadn't seen her for like 18 months. They had actually broken off. They'd been broken off for a while. And but weirdly, that day was this girl's birthday. And he had sent her flowers and just called it to say happy birthday.
Mm-hmm. So zombied up. He's zombied up.
Yeah. But for all intents and purposes, it does seem, and like when you do kind of dive into the relationship a little bit more, because they do talk about it a little bit more. She had moved on. She was dating somebody else. They had a couple of kids. Like this was everything he basically said looked up and up on that case, on that portion of it. Right.
Okay.
So he's like, but I'm just getting all of it out in the open air. I want all my cards on the table so that we know what we're dealing with. No surprises, right? So in the meantime, not very long after they take Peggy to the hospital, she does end up passing. And forensics is all over this. Like they're like, okay, we take a look at the car. We're going to take a look at all the, the everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's a wild story. So yeah, I'd be like,
it's an incredibly wild story.
Yeah. We need to verify that this is what actually happened. Like, are there cameras? You're at a gas station. You would think there'd be cameras.
They didn't make it to the gas station.
Oh,
they were on that secluded road.
Okay.
So they're going to have to look at like angles,
tire tracks,
lots of yarn
there
connecting the dots.
There was those pokey sticks with the thing, sticking out of everywhere. And so some of the things were like, okay, they were trying to like line up his story. If they fought for the gun, could these things have happened? And the one was through the roof. Okay, sure. The one was through like kind of like, how the back doors have like your regular windows and then they have like those little triangle windows.
Yeah.
One was at like the kind of the corner of one of those triangle windows, which he was like, the police were like, that's the one that he was shot. And they were like, if that's the case, he would have had to have his like rear end up through the ceiling of the car for that to hit him at that angle. So they were kind of like, that doesn't really make sense. And so they're like, okay, Carlos, like take us back to the scene. Like, what's the scoop?
Yeah.
And so he's like, here's where it happened. They find a bullet casing on outside of the car on the side of the street. And they're like, that's really fucking weird.
Yeah. All the casing should have been inside
the car. Mm-hmm.
Right. So they were like, that's bizarre. So they found that. And then they were like, well, there's a literal lake right here within tossing distance. So they decide they're going to dredge up the lake, and lo and behold, they find a gun, and quickly they're able to trace that gun to the crime. That's what happened. But, it could have been this guy who came out and just threw the gun into the lake. Seems weird, but could be.
The whole thing seems very weird.
Yeah.
It's like your car on a secluded like strip of road.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird thing for a mugger to do.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I bet you anything that he was just like, oh, I got to pee real quick and like pull over. And then he did that shady stuff to his wife. That's what I think.
Well, he did describe that she was asleep on most of the drives. So the other thing that forensics and after the autopsy was done that they found really bizarre is that the bullet hole that was how Peggy was shot was a direct straight line right through like basically the two hemispheres of her brain. Like it was a very direct shot
instead of like
at
off,
an angle
at
or
an
like,
angle like it would be if you're struggling for the gun.
Right.
Yeah.
It was, and so they literally matched where the gunpowder residue from the backs of the seat to her head, and it was like he literally would have had to line the gun up right behind her head and shot her.
Yeah.
It's just like it just isn't, the logistics aren't matching up.
Yeah.
It just isn't coming together. And so the forensics are like kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Mm-hmm. Family and friends though, everybody in their community is like, no fucking way. No fucking, you've never met a happier couple in your life. They were so fucking happy.
Well,
they were so, but
no one knows what goes on behind closed doors.
He had a mistress for 10 years.
Yeah. And apparently too.
Which if she knew about it, I'd be like, okay, well, they could still be a happy couple if like that was their situation. But like she didn't, it was this, like, yeah, he clearly has secrets.
Yeah. Clearly was having all kinds of affairs, and not only the 10-year affair, but with this one single mistress, but apparently it also stepped out in a couple other areas as well. So, I mean, this is not,
Have you guys been watching couples therapy on
I will
Showtime?
not watch that show because I feel like I can't get in. I'm like, I can't get invested in your people's lives.
TikTok?
Yes.
Dude.
I have seen the trailer for that show. Like,
you see that one guy this is reminding me a lot of that one guy on there that's like talking about, he's like, I've never cheated. I've stepped out a few times, but I've never cheated. I'm like, what
do you think that is? That's cheating.
He's like, I don't cheat. He's like, I may step out from time to time, but I'm not a cheater.
I need your definition.
I don't know what you know. I don't.
The therapist just looking.
What the fuck?
I can't be a therapist because the way I have my face on my face.
Yeah.
You know,
100.
like we would be like, ugh, like the hiding that, having that like impartial therapist face.
No, couldn't be me.
Could not be me. Are you kidding me? My face. I'm practically a walking meme.
Your eyebrows would be up completely into your hairline.
She gone.
That's why I think I have that picture saved in my phone. It comes up a lot of times on the like on this day kind of thing, but it's that picture of you at that bar when we saw the KJ like lifting that chick up by her ass.
Oh.
And I took a picture of you looking at that, and it's so funny to me. It's like one of my favorite pictures of you of all time. It's so funny.
I'm sure
But it's so that face because you were taking a drink at the same time. Your eyebrows are like all the way to the back of your forehead.
Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. No, they don't exist anymore. Woo, okay. So anyway, so other things are coming up too. Forensics are like, Carlos's jacket was in the back seat. The back seat didn't necessarily look like a struggle had happened. Mm-hmm. Also,
his jacket's all nice and folded.
Also, in Carlos's jacket is a fucking plastic bag that has gunshot residue on the insides.
Oh, weird.
On the inside of it. So like as though it carried a gun. Mm-hmm. So people, they're like, that's
suspect.
Yeah. And he's like, well, you know, when gunshots go off, gunpowder
inside
goes
your
everywhere.
jacket,
inside of a
folded jacket,
inside of a bag
in your jacket.
It's not. Not that I'm aware of. Anyway. It's not science. It's not sciencing up here for but again, everyone who knows him is like absolutely would never do this. He's an upstanding man. Which
you know what I've seen. Have these people never seen a single Dateline?
Yeah,
truly.
I literally.
Listen,
but everybody's just like, he could never mastermind this. This is just not him.
At this point, and you know I love you both dearly, and don't think that you would do anything. But if somebody was like, we have a lot of evidence that Christina committed murder, I'd be like, what? Like, what? Well,
all right.
I mean,
what happened?
Show me what you got.
Yeah. I'm like, look, I don't want to believe she did it, but I'm not going to look. Anybody in the right circumstances. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know.
God.
His attorney is also too like, everybody's like, no, he could never do it. His attorney's like, listen, you guys are just going after him because he's a criminal defense attorney, and detectives notoriously hate defense attorneys because they get people off for whatever crimes you've put them in jail for.
Listen, I've seen Law and Order. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, they all go get drinks together. Is that not how that works? I don't think
The defense attorneys? No.
The defense attorneys and the prosecution do.
Yeah.
Like
but the police, I don't know.
I don't know.
Listen, I don't know anything about that. I don't know about how their relationships.
The way you said that.
Listen, I don't know anything about
I'm gonna
that.
say right now.
I don't know how detectives feel about, defense attorneys, but I do feel like they probably aren't going to go out of their fucking way to try to find extra evidence just because he's a defense attorney.
No. Yeah.
And also it needs to, be said that evidence, it's not like they were like, let's put some gunshot residue here.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not planting evidence. So it's there. I mean, and the other thing is that now enter Mark Gonzalo. He's a man who came forward and said, oh, yeah, that Walther gun that you guys found. Yeah. No, I saw Carlos with that, a few months ago.
Carlos, you are a criminal defense attorney. Cover your fucking tracks.
This is the best that you could come up with.
What are you doing?
Honestly.
Like seriously, listen, not trying to give advice to criminals at all. I'm not I'm so glad he's bad at criming. However, you are a criminal defense attorney. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
You're gonna concoct an elaborate fucking car mugging.
In the middle of nowhere.
What?
So a mugger is driving through Westchester County, New York, and he's like, oh, and happens to be on this.
Somebody finally came along.
He's twisting his twirly mustache. Yeah. How many people have you defended? Does this seem like a good? Okay. He dumb.
Go scuba diving like everybody else on Dateline.
Truly.
Come on.
Go on a cruise. Go hiking.
It's terrible. It's not funny, but
no.
Yeah. No. Okay. Anyways.
No, but we know those stories too.
Yes.
This guy is not the smartest of criminals, and literally everything.
Or defense attorneys. He's not the smartest.
He's not.
He's not good at anything.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about that too. But one of the things that immediately the prosecution started, they're getting all the information from the police. They haven't arrested him yet, but they're like, we're going to get ourselves a nice little case built up.
Yep.
And prosecution's looking further into his background. Who is this Carlos, right? What's going on? And they're like, defense attorney, great. He and his family, their financials, not looking good. They're living literally paycheck to paycheck. They're fucking
he had
broke.
10 years of supporting two women probably.
Well,
two
and three
birthdays.
3 kids that he had with his wife.
Yeah.
So, and in the span of 9 years, they had moved 7 to 8 times. They were not very stable as far as that.
Why were they moving so much?
It just money. I don't think where they were super secure, but he also said he said of him and his wife, he's like, we just lived like we want to live. He's like, we had a very, you can't take it with you mentality. And he's like, we just wanted to live the maximum life while we were doing it. And he's just.
It's one way to do it, I guess.
Not savers.
Not my style, but
But I mean,
I understand it. I understand people who have that mentality. I have too much anxiety to live my life that way.
Drive fast, take chances.
Yeah, but some people, I get it because anything could happen.
Yeah, especially if you have kids. You know what I mean? I could live like that now and be like, whatever. But exactly.
He's got 3
you can't
children.
take it. But you got kids
who probably want to go to college. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Also, moving is expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
Every time you move, it's not cheap to move, even if you're just moving locally.
And where they're living at the time is literally 2 doors down from Bill and Hillary Clinton. So they're literally, this is not a cheap neighborhood. So we're talking expensive.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am annoyed by that.
Yeah.
It's not my life, but I'm like, oh,
fuck you.
Fuck you.
Not only are they in some money problems, he's also been in some legal problems. He has been in
Carlos.
Yeah, been in some trouble with some of his prior clients. One of which finally had caught up with him. One of his clients, the Sanibo family, finally found him and filed a complaint against him with the New York Supreme Court Disciplinary Committee. They had a claim that he had taken $10,000 of their money. They weren't even like, this is not like a wealthy family he took money from. This is like a family who's like, that's their life savings. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't
That's despicable.
disgusting,
Gross.
right?
Yeah.
And the whole purpose was for him to secure, you know, like a criminal defense for this client.
And how much was it?
$10,000.
So to him, not even, I mean,
was
yeah,
a
they're
family-
having financial
family
problems.
vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, little
That's disgusting.
And he's basically just up and left. Like, he's like, thanks. And does
that took your
nothing.
retainer and then did
Does
nothing.
nothing.
Oh, that's fucked
Well,
up.
that isn't, he's not, this isn't only one family. This is apparently a lot
Oh
of
my
fucking
God.
families. And the list of complaints is piling up and
So
piling up
morally
and
questionable.
piling up.
Carlos, we
Yeah.
could say morally.
Yeah.
So many complaints pile up that they finally begin disbarment proceedings.
Wow.
He is disbarred. So by the time he's caught, all that's happening, he's actually already a disbarred attorney. He does not have a fucking job.
Shit.
And he's like, yeah, but actually, like, I'm really happy I was disbarred because
Okay.
I actually am just, it's like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I didn't want to do it anymore. And I'm happy. And I was actually just making more money not being an attorney anyway. So it's
How?
fine.
Doing what?
Doing what?
Stealing?
Killing
a criminal?
killing his wife.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
God.
insurance.
Of course, they found out that his wife had an insurance policy that had just been boosted up to $882,000, and that policy, though, you know, much to I'm sure his chagrin, was being held up immediately. He's like, "Oh, this is for the kids, though. Like, this isn't even for me. I'm just shoring this up for the kids.
Okay.
The kids that I've cared so much about for the
Right,
past whatever
yeah.
years, you know." But the insurance company's like, "Yeah, but no, we're not going to give you this money because you're being
Because suspicious.
possibly
Yeah.
It's crime.
yeah, because crime exactly." So, what does our amazing Carlos do? He has a yard sale.
Okay.
Oh, God.
A yard sale to get rid of all of his wife's possessions.
The poor kids. The poor kids.
I saw a picture literally of her shoes laid out by her bed, and there was like a sign that was like 1 pair $5, 3 pair 10. It's just,
If that was my mother,
could you imagine?
no, like that. And
Do you
your
think
mom
Hillary
just died.
and Bill popped by the yard sale?
I mean, if I didn't know the circumstances, you know, we love a yard sale.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do
on
love
this podcast.
a yard sale.
We do
Yeah.
love a yard sale. But no, I just feel so bad for the children because like if that was my mom and I'm already dealing with like my mom died suddenly in this terrible way, my dad's under suspicion and now he's selling all of her things.
Yeah, it took mom forever to be able to get rid of dad's stuff.
My mom
Listen,
didn't get rid of my
everybody
dad's
deals
stuff.
with things differently.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
people who are like, you know, chuck everything.
My
and
mom
then
moved
regret
my
it.
dad's things with us a few times before finally getting rid of
Yeah.
quite a bit of it. So it's
Yeah.
like,
I
Yeah.
mean, especially because you have children together. That's also another
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You are literally getting rid of your kids. I mean, these
memories
are memories.
of your
yeah.
parent. Yeah.
I mean, not that they want her shoes, but I mean, who knows?
Maybe they do.
You
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, it's the most fucking wild thing.
Yeah.
And obviously just it's such a level of ick that
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. At any rate, by December 20th in 2007, Carlos was arrested and indicted for the murder of his wife, Peggy. They were like, we got plenty, sir. I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty here. The prosecution went after him on the financials mostly. They were like, you know, obviously you did this for greed or whatever, but this is you clearly killed your wife. He insists, though, that they were just, you know, seemingly living paycheck to paycheck, but they had enough money to keep them in their lifestyle and it's just fine. No big deal.
But the accountant's like, pushing up his glasses.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the numbers.
He's
and-
like on a calculator.
yeah, I don't think you did have enough
No.
money to continue living that way.
But after 3 days of deliberation, the jury does come back and they do find him guilty on all the counts. So he had accounts of obviously the murder, the gun possession, all those things. He got 25 years to life. And that is the awful, awful story of the death of Peggy
Feel so bad
Perez-Olivo.
for her.
Yeah.
Like anytime we have stories like this, I always think to myself, like, you know, having gone through a divorce and stuff and all the hope that you have for being married. And I just think of her being married to this dude that has a whole nother person for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And like, I think about her making dinner and maybe he told her he's working late and she's taking care of the 3 kids. And then to have it all come down to something like that after date night, like he kills her. It just is so
For her
heartbreaking.
life insurance.
It's so
It's
heartbreaking.
disgusting. Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
Well, what I learned from this story is if Eric ever asked me about life insurance, 911.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
truly, I never
just-
trust it. I'm like,
I know.
I
What
just
you-
why you want to know? Why do you want to know?
Yeah.
I got my life insurance through my workplace, so
Yeah, me too.
you know,
Mine's
Chris has never asked me how much. or-
25K.
Yeah,
or
mine's
whatever.
like so
It's
low.
like-
It's like it is not worth it. I
You're
promise.
like, you got a couple months of bills, and that's about
promise.
it.
Yeah, like
exactly. 25K isn't getting you
No.
shit these
Yes.
days.
No.
Like,
Shit,
honestly.
100K and getting you shit these
I
days.
know, not in LA, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, what are you guys watching this week?
well, I'm watching a couple things, or I watched a few things. I went like a period of time where I didn't watch anything.
Yeah.
And then like this last week of just being stuck inside, I was like, what
All the
all
things.
can I watch?
Yeah.
Can I watch everything? So I watched Baby J, which is John Mulaney's new stand-up.
Oh yes, yes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not as good as, it's not as funny as his other stand-up, but
Yeah.
if you just
Happy
if-
people
if-
aren't as funny.
if you just want the tea,
Yeah. Okay.
if you just want the tea on like his addiction and rehab
yeah.
and intervention, that's the whole thing. The whole thing
Yeah.
is just him talking about like all of that period of time. I mean, he's not going to talk about he doesn't talk about his relationship. So
Right.
he doesn't talk about his ex-wife or his
I
current
feel
partner.
bad that the dog just passed.
Oh my God, really?
Did you see that?
What dog?
He has a
His
French
dog.
Petunia.
Petunia.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. I didn't know
Passed,
that.
I think, last week.
Oh,
Aw.
Frenchies don't live long.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was good. He has a few bits in there that are quite funny, and it was enlightening to just like how bad his addiction was, because you're like, oh, you were an addict. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah. But then I also started Love and Death on HBO, which
Oh,
is
the
so-
Candy Montgomery
right,
story.
which is so funny because Jessica Biel was just in one on Hulu called Candy.
And they're the
Yeah.
same. You can put a lot of the scenes side by side and the lines are the same.
That's funny.
How does this happen?
I don't know, because this has happened more than once.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I will say, it's fucking annoying.
It is
It is
annoying.
It is annoying.
One person gets a story and you do it.
Yeah.
And that's
Fire
that.
festival. we
I
we
will
don't need
say-
2 fire
Yes,
festivals.
exactly.
We don't.
They do it with
don't-
documentaries a lot too. Yeah,
need
where it's like
that.
3 different versions of it, a Netflix,
And they come
a
out at the
Hulu.
exact same time. You're like,
Yes,
why?
it's so annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying.
Stupid.
I will say Love and Death is really good.
Okay.
It is really good. I didn't watch the other one. I watched the trailer for the other one. The quality of this one looks a lot better.
Okay.
Just looking at them on the surface.
Wasn't the Jessica Biel one supposed to have a Scientologist chick?
Who?
Elizabeth Moss.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's
Oh, I
supposed to be
see.
Elizabeth
I think you're
Moss.
right.
Oh, I
You're
don't
right.
know. That one has Melanie Linsky
From Yellow Jackets.
from Yellow Jackets in it.
Love her.
I love her too. Love and Death is really good though. Like I am really enjoying it. Elizabeth Olsen, so good.
That was a very good Texas Monthly article
Yeah.
that I got to read to do that Tainted Love.
yeah.
That was a wild
That's
story.
it is wild, and that's why it makes good television because it is a wild story.
Listen,
Yeah.
truth sometimes is much wilder
Yeah.
than fiction.
Yeah.
So
The guy who plays Candy Montgomery's husband, Elizabeth Olsen's husband, is the kid from Almost Famous, and he looks like him, but
older.
grown in a way that's like he looks-
Unsettling.
because I'm like, oh my God, you're the kid from Almost Famous, middle aged,
I
and
get
like
the
looks
same-
very middle aged.
I
don't
get
know.
the same feeling from Steve from Blue's Clues. I'm like, it's unsettling.
I'm,
like
I'm
when
freaked out. I'm freaked
I don't
out.
like that. I don't like that.
Why do you look old? That means I'm old. God damn it. Stop it. Stop.
I watched Indian Matchmaking last night, and
I love that journey
That
for
show
you.
is
Listen.
so wild.
it is wild. I like
People
it.
on that show
It's
sometimes
so
you're
funny.
like, I watched the first season. I haven't
Yeah.
watched since then, and the first season was just like,
First season was so good.
uh-huh.
The second season was okay. Third season's good again.
Good again.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
So
nice.
Well, I tried Perry Mason again, which I had watched the first episode back when it first came out and was kind of like, meh, I'm not really feeling this. dove into it this past week and was obsessed with it.
Tatiana,
really love it.
Whatever her name is,
Yes,
Mosley,
who plays Sister Alice in season 1.
Good.
So good.
And the woman who plays her mom, whose name I can't remember, Lily, whatever her face is.
the chick that's always in she's in a like scary movie.
She's
or
in
something.
scary movies. She's in The Conjuring. She's in The Haunting
Yes.
of Hill House or whatever. Not the TV show, but the movie. She's great too in it.
I really enjoy it. There's fun little Easter eggs that you like see them building the Griffith Observatory.
That's
see
cool.
them on like Runyon and just
Very
to see,
LA centric.
Yeah, different like early LA is kind of interesting. And then I also finally restarted Sanditon,
Nice.
and I'm in it, and I love it.
So good.
Yeah.
Enjoy that journey.
Well, yeah, and I should be able to wrap it up because the Queen Charlotte Bridgerton just got released.
It's out.
We need to talk about that because I don't know anything about. I'm like, what did this come from? Is it? I just saw it was up on Netflix. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it's been in the works for a while. It's just talking about like her story, meeting George, and like just like her come up.
Nice
to Queen.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll watch it.
Fine, I guess.
I'm ready for the next like Bridgerton.
Me too.
Dude, that last season was spicy, and I loved it.
I kind of am like, should I read the books?
I'm kind of thinking about it.
Well, journey for next week.
Exactly. Well, if you guys have something we should read or watch, or you just want to reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. Also, if you have an opportunity to give us a like, a rating, or review, we would so appreciate it. It really helps us grow.
Someone just left one for Christina. It just says,
Christina
plus Bill, R.I.P. with a gravestone on it. Look,
amazing.
We love that shit. I immediately
love it.
I immediately screenshotted it and sent it to Christina and Cassie. So if you have even like funny little insider stuff like that, you just want to give us a 5-star and like send something to us.
That's
hilarious.
an inside joke.
We love it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we love you guys so much.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.